Hey, y'all. Hey, welcome to the PowerWomen podcast.
This is a show where powerful women share their journeys, discuss powerful issues, and the men and women who help us rise.
And we are your hosts with three very different backgrounds and very different perspectives. I'm Brandy Jo Newman.
I'm Gayatri Agnew.
And I'm your power mom, Claire Brown. Hey, y'all. Hey, I'm so excited that I get time and conversation with this wonderful, wonderful lady today, but also to introduce you to her and open the conversation so that you get to learn more of what's to come. So welcome, Misti Herring, to the PowerWomen podcast. Hey.
Hey, Claire. It's so good to see your face.
I know, it's been too long. And so please tell everyone, who is Misti Herring? What does she do? Who is she? All the fun things.
Sure. Well, who I am a voice for the disconnected. And what I do is coach people to reach their full God-given potential. I get to be a wife and a mom, and I get to train and lead agents in the real estate industry. And then I also get to work with women in a variety of capacities, whether it be as a small group leader or in nonprofit ministry.
Right. So I love how you said that. Who I am say it again.
A voice for the disconnected.
A voice for the disconnected. That is very powerful. So explain that to me a little bit more.
That's been a journey. I think many of us have gone through iterations of a mission, a vision, things like that. And yet at the core of any of those is who we are.
Right.
To fulfill that. So who we are is our identity. And a couple of years ago, I got to be in a workshop with Jamie Winship, who is the creator of Identity Exchange. And he walked us through an exercise where we really tapped into that. And that's when I discovered that's who I am. I'm a voice for the disconnected. Since a young age, I'd had a microphone in my hand. And I thought at one point that meant I was going to be delivering the TV news. Yeah. And that didn't work out because I wanted to make money more than I wanted to be TV famous. And then it's been a series of gathering people's stories, taking back the microphone from people who were telling my story and telling it for myself. And so when I say, a voice, first of all, we all have a voice, being able to tap into it. And when I added that part for the disconnected, it's because I found that many people are like how I had been, disconnected from your identity, disconnected from values, disconnected from a vision. And so my role is to step in and help people connect to that.
So beautifully said. And I love that so much. And you and I connected several years ago, and you were one of the original founders or helpers or connectors that helped me reconnect to when I was building PowerWomen. And you weren't necessarily my coach, but you were a huge mentor in my space for me. And then you became a close friend. And so it's been very much a full circle moment for me, for you to be able to come and be a leader and coach for women at this upcoming PowerWomen Retreat. And so I'm so excited about that. And so tell women, what will you be sharing and teaching and hoping for others to take from that?
Well, I'm so excited that you're doing this. For one, I know it's been on your heart for quite some time. Yeah. And I always admire your urgency to act when you have an idea. And that is not something that I take lightly, because there are many people with great ideas and yet they often lack execution. So I value that you're creating this for other people to get to be a part of. I went on an adventure trip earlier this year and reminded myself of how powerful it is to be with other women doing hard things.
Right.
And so at this retreat, we're not going to necessarily physically exert ourselves in all the ways. And yet there's going to be a little bit of that, which I think is important
Yeah.
because not to go down a rabbit trail, when we think about the framework for happiness, and this is based on the Harvard researchers' framework of this, one of the aspects is physical
Yeah.
and growing and challenging ourselves in that space. So I'm super excited we're going to have that component of
Mhm.
it. And then
Mhm.
also spiritual, intellectual, relational, and emotional. And I know that what you're putting together is going to hit on all of
All
those.
that.
For me, what I get to bring to the table is how to lead yourself well.
Mhm.
You and I had talked about reclaiming yourself. And I
Mhm.
thought, well, first you have to claim to reclaim, right? And you first claim yourself by knowing who you are. And self leadership, to me, there's 4 pillars, and it's self discovery, self acceptance, self management, and self growth. And we're
Yeah.
going to talk about what it looks like tangibly in each of those areas.
Yeah. And so, I just skipped over some things that I realize are very important. What is your job? What do you do?
How do you pay your bills, girl?
How you keep the wall up?
Well, I do a variety of things. That's why it's always one of those things. I'm an entrepreneur at heart, and what I've learned about myself over the years is that I am best fulfilled and most tapped into my talents as more of a conductor than a rainmaker. So, what
Mhm.
that means is that I like to step into places and take them to the next level. So, what that looks like in one role is the director of sales for a multi city real estate team. We just had stats came out that ranked our team number 4 large team in the entire state of Tennessee for 2023. So
Nice.
that's exciting and something to be proud of.
Mhm.
And then I also get to coach one on one with people who are business owners or leaders, most being in the real estate space, and then some that are outside of that as well.
Yeah. So, but you've been a leadership coach for how long now?
Over 9 years
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
over 10,000 one on one coaching sessions now.
Right.
In that, I've also gotten to train other coaches, which
Mhm.
is fun. In
Mhm.
coaching, it's almost like this degree of separation where I am empowering you to go take action. I'm not taking the action myself.
Mhm.
So, therefore, I really don't have control over the outcome. And then when
Right.
you add a layer of coaching a coach to coach
Mhm.
people, you're
Right.
even more disconnected from the
Yeah.
final outcome, right? Which
Yeah.
is why it's been fun. In about a year and a half ago, stepping into the team role, I feel like I'm a little bit more on boots on the ground, right? Getting my hands
Mhm.
dirty again as far
Mhm.
as all things being in the industry.
Yeah. And so, but the term coach, I know is thrown around so much. And so, let's hear your alphabet soup that goes behind your name along with that, because your certification goes so far beyond what people can even know that's even possible.
Sure. Well, and I believe that ultimately, in order to coach well, you have to be coachable yourself.
Yes.
And also, you have to be willing to grow.
Yeah.
Because when I'm coaching, I'm honestly holding up the mirror.
Hmm.
And I believe more often than not, it's two-way mirror.
Hmm.
There is rarely a week or two that goes by that something doesn't come up with a client that isn't someplace that I have an opportunity in.
Right.
So coaching is very much a personal journey, even though the job itself is to impact someone else and empower
Right.
them. So at its core, we motivate, educate, and inspire as a
Hmm.
coach to help people reach their potential to take them from where they are to where they desire to be.
Yeah. But you are a master practitioner in NLP.
Nope.
You No? Okay, but you've gone through NLP.
Gone through the journey. I didn't
Yeah.
get the letters. So I'm
Okay.
staying in integrity. I
Mhm.
love to learn. And
Mhm.
what I know that means one of my strengths. I'm skilled and adept and love the strengths finder. So that's one of the
Yeah.
things I use with clients. So I know I'm a learner and I know I'm an activator. What that means is I like to learn new things and I like to start things. I don't always finish them. And I can look at that as super negative, right? Like, oh, I am really great at starting things. I have a lot of great ideas. And then look at
Yeah.
all of them around me. Well, we need people to have ideas and we need people to start things. We
Yeah.
also need other people to come alongside that have different strengths to execute them.
That's right.
What I've also learned is that I don't have to finish something in the definition that the course or the certification says is finished in order to gain something from it.
Right.
So if I'm learning, if I'm able to take a skill away from something and then I go apply it, maybe it's because I've been an entrepreneur so long that I've decided this is what the growth journey looks like for me. And if I finish it or not, that's okay.
Right. And so the session that you're going to be teaching or leading, if you will, is about leadership. And so as we talked about, it is about learning to lead yourself, but then it goes far beyond that. Tell us more.
Right. So leading yourself really is personal mastery.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And in order to be a leader, you have to lead yourself well. Once you know how to lead yourself well, you can lead others.
Mm-hmm.
From leading others well, you can then create and develop leaders. From there, you have the ability to attract leaders.
Right.
And so many times when I'm working with people who own or run companies, they look around and say, I don't have enough leaders. I don't have other people who are willing to run with me, or I have a vacancy in my organization. I don't have anyone to fill it. And they want to jump right into how do I attract leaders when they haven't looked around and spent time and effort creating leaders. And then before that, even learned how to lead other people well. And then the first step, looking in the mirror. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard work. It's hard work. I mean, it takes a lot of courage and breaking through a lot of fear to say, yes, please let me look in that mirror every day. It's not easy. You know, if it were easy, we'd all do it all the time.
Well, and one of those things too is even just using the word doing when it comes to leadership, it's really a state of being.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever wasn't when I first became a leader, it was in my second iteration of relaunching a real estate franchise that someone taught me. The further up you go in leadership, you get paid more for the way you think, not for what you do.
Say that again.
The further in leadership you go, you get paid more for the way you think, not for what you do. And so many of us, either based off the way we grew up or the work environments we've been exposed to, we are focused on doing more. Doing more. And we don't spend enough time developing the way we think so that we can have a greater impact and a ripple effect on everyone around us.
Right. Because how you think will really impact everything you do.
100%. 100%. It'll affect what you attract. It'll affect the way you see an opportunity. It will affect if that is an opportunity that makes sense for you in the season that you're in. It's certainly a critical piece of being a leader is developing your thinking.
What is the one thing you feel that is lacking the most in leadership today?
Emotionally healthy leadership.
And how do we fix that?
Well, what I have learned over the years is I can only change myself. I can't change other people.
Oh, how PC are we gonna be today?
No, a couple of things with that. Yes, I can be an example of an emotionally healthy leader. So I can learn how to respond instead of react. I can learn how to regulate my emotions. And I can be an example of that in a leadership meeting where opinions are being shared that I don't agree with.
Right.
On another level of that, which may be a little more direct, I can speak to someone about how what they said landed with other people,
Right.
or about if they're creating an emotionally safe environment for people to contribute and share in or not.
Right. Right.
One of my biggest pet peeves, this will keep it really real, is when you're sitting on a conference call with people and the person leading the call is asking questions and no one is responding. And
Yeah.
that person gets mad at everyone else because they're not responding,
Right.
when the reason these people aren't responding is
It's
because that person has not created an emotionally safe environment
Mhm.
where the people feel safe enough to
Right.
respond.
Yep. Yeah. And so what if, right? What if we all took feedback from others as how we should improve upon our own leadership?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
yeah.
That's one of the things I talk about when it comes to self acceptance. Um,
Mhm.
I had the naive idea at the age of 28 when I first became a leader to do a 360 review and let people who were working with me and around me review me. And that's really humbling. Really humbling.
Reviews are always humbling. Yeah.
It is, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so many times leaders are asking for feedback like, well, what else should we be doing? Or what are we not doing that you'd like to see? What would you like to see differently? Instead of asking, how am I doing as your leader?
Right. Right. How could I help you differently?
Yeah,
Mhm.
how do I need to show up? What would you need to know about me and where I come
Right.
from or where I desire to go that would
Mhm.
make you feel that I'm a leader worth following?
Mhm. Yeah. They're hard questions that people really don't want the answers to.
Well, we assume they don't if they're not asking.
Right. I mean, there's that. Where does assuming get us, you know? So yeah, it's a fascinating topic. I can't wait for you to dive into it and see what comes of it, you know? And so I know that you are a leader in many different spaces. You are a wife, you are a mother, you are a daughter. You've been leading your whole life in those spaces. And so share with people a little bit more about that before you leave us.
Sure. I also, in the last 6 years, have launched two different churches and been on leadership with that as well. Pre COVID and post COVID, which has been two very different
Yeah.
experiences. I get the opportunity to lead as a mom with a 12-year-old who just started seventh grade today.
Yeah.
It is my highest honor to learn every day how to love her well, because
Yeah.
loving her well is leading her.
Mhm.
And this is my second attempt at being a wife. And so far, so good. We're learning on that one,
Yeah.
learning every day on that one. Growth does not occur in a vacuum, and it is most powerfully experienced in relationship. And
Yeah.
that's where you're your most vulnerable self.
Yep.
And so that's been a fun journey. It'll be 5 years in November. uh,
Wow.
no, can
Gosh,
you
that
believe
has gone
that?
by so fast.
So fast, so fast. I know. And
Oh,
then
and I'm still
it'll,
single.
that's okay.
Well,
you
it's gonna
know
have to be.
that we're all on different journeys. I told you a long time ago, and it's part of my story, that if God hadn't basically put someone on my doorstep, that I wasn't out looking for it,
Right.
and that's a whole other conversation, because I felt like I had a pretty full plate
Yeah.
and have continued,
Yep.
my I've been working, I feel like, my whole life, and always finding other hobbies or interests, really passions,
Mhm.
that align with my values being faith, growth, and fun. Like,
Yeah.
are we making an impact on a world, bigger than us? Um, are we growing individually, and are we having fun doing it? Because if
That's
we're not having
exactly
fun,
right.
then I don't want to do it either.
No, me either. If it's not fun, it's not happening in my world.
No, not
No.
at all. Not
We've
at all.
always aligned in those three. Always, always, which made it fun and scary at the same time with us being roommates at events.
I know it could be really like fun, and it could be really too much fun. No,
That's right. That's right.
there's never too much fun.
No.
Professionals know how to time block for fun.
That's time blocking my fun. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I do not time block for fun. I find it everywhere and all day long. That's it.
And I love that about you.
Thank you.
I have to be more intentional about that and creating those spaces. A perfect example is even this morning, first day of school, getting ready. And, we're trucking along. She's done such a great job of getting herself up and being prepared. And so I've just put on some fun music where normally it would be quiet because we're both like on mission. She and I are a lot alike.
Yeah.
And so I thought, okay, you know what? I'm just going to play some fun music. And that's going to be how we put some fun in it. So to your point, creating those moments of fun everywhere we go.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I'm always here for the fun and the funny,
The fun and the funny. No doubt.
No doubt.
Making fun of ourselves along the way.
Oh, all day, every day. Yes. Yeah. Misty, you're always joy. And that's one of my most favorite things about you, because we do find the fun and the funny together, which brings the joy. So I can't thank you enough, one, for sharing your gifts today, but I can't wait for you to share more at the retreat in the fall. And thank you so much for your time and for being so open and so giving and just being a friend.
It is my honor to be your friend, to be a part of your journey, and to further this journey with other women who are going to come alongside and experience this retreat.
Yeah. Hey there, make sure to register for the PowerWomen Retreat coming up October 4th through 6th of this year. Make sure to catch Misty's breakout session of how to lead yourself, how to lead others, and how to attract great leaders. The website is www.thepowerwomen.org/events, where you can check out all of our speakers and upcoming details. Thank you so much for listening. If you like the show, please rate and review on iTunes and check out our website, thepowerwomen.org.